Dear Sean, I don't know if we'll ever talk again, so I'd like to thank you for that interview. And by the way, how's your ankle? You just won your last fight and you couldn't even walk. You beat Andre Supercross, and that ain't no walk in the park. And now you got the world behind you, but they don't like you like I like you. They don't give you credit, they think you won cause Andre's IQ. And low key, I'm hyped for Sugar Show OG. You got your own strain, that's dope, I need me a OZ. See, you gave me an interview and no one knows me. And that's why I'm like kin to you, not just a homie, but homie. You ain't respond to my text or my email, so I'm about to grab my girl up by her neck, and I'm gonna probably choke her out, and I'm gonna go and get my tech, and I'm gonna start shooting shit until Sean O'Malley sends me a text.
Bagel bitch boy, bagel bitch back.
Rich the producer.
Dana just replied to my text last night. I sent him one and I asked who's next. He told me Jose, so I told him no sweat. I'ma fold him like a taco, I'ma beat him half to death. It's Sean O'Malley, bitch. Don't let these looks fool you, I'm always down to kick ass. And no, I'm not a racist, but I'll pound a spick fast. If you get up in my way, you're my route to the cash. I apologize, cause y'all sensitive as fuck, I know y'all gon' cry. But I'm a little drunk and I'm always high. I've been smoking on some skunk, sipping on some wine. Welcome to the Sugar Show, sweeter than a motherfucking Tootsie Roll. If you didn't know, then you wouldn't know it. UFC 229, I'm sending shots like a scared white man at a black with the hoodie on. And my bitch got a booty going, got my woody on. Made it hard to even make it through the song, but I had to cause I had to do you wrong. Had to let the world know I'm about to smoke you like I do a bong, motherfucker.
Life, man, yeah.
Nobody fucking with me, yeah. I'm about to go be Stipe, yeah. Moving up to heavyweight, yeah. And I am destined to be great, yeah. And if you didn't know, they call me DC. And there's no one that you know that can beat me. Yeah, I fought John Jones, but was he clean? I don't think so. What's in that PP? Steroids, cocaine, probably weed. Testosterone, dick pills, and speed. And shrooms, and pills, and codeine. Goddamn, John turned into a dope fiend. And Stipe's about to turn into a folding chair. When I fold them up, I'ma win 2 belts and hold them up. On my champ shit, Conor knows what's up, little bitch. Somebody grab him some chicken. This fucking guy is fat. How the fuck he gon' beat me? And Volkov just put this guy on his back. I hope you know no one is scared of you, especially not DC. And you can call me Daniel Cormier or Double Chips. You know you cannot beat me. And yeah, I'm talking to Lewis. If you wanna scrap, we can do this. I know that you're black, I know you're a beast. I know that you're fat and you're stupid. I'm back on my bullshit and lacking my cool. At UFC 230, I'll spaz on this fool. He's not gonna beat me cause he's lacking the tools. This nigga can't breathe when he's splashing the pool. No cardio, hope. And it's probably gonna show when I take him down and I beat him up, cause that's all that I know. They call me Daniel Cormier. I'm coming to defend my title. If he think that he can beat me, then this motherfucker's psycho. Bitch, I'm gone. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. I'm sick of your bad back and you're still fat. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you being black and wearing MAGA hats. Let's talk about it. I'm sick of you getting smashed and then coming back. Let's talk about it. Or we can get dirty at UFC 230 and you can get sparked about it. I done did a lot of drugs in my day, yeah I said it, but I'm still gon' kick your ass. Gustafsson, I hope you ready. When I got into the crash, I ain't know the bitch was pregnant, but they treat me like a murderer, so motherfucker critic. Bitch, I'm ready to fight, and we can fight till the death. I'll hit your ass with the right, then with the right and the left, then kick you right in the chest, and have you fighting for breath. And then I'll turn the pressure up when you would try to get rest, leave you no time to adjust. Daniel, I'm coming for the title, so quit hiding your necks, because I'm right at your neck. Yeah, you can try and fight Lesnar, but when you fight him, what's next? That's right, I'm the best. At UFC 232, I'll get my title instead. What's going on, everybody? Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho to the motherfucking full-time family. You guys ready to talk about these fights coming up this weekend? Hopefully we can get the family on here from the very beginning, just straight panel, straight off the rip. But you know what, guys? Before we get into the show,
this is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel-bitch boy, bagel-bitch back.
make sure you smash that motherfucking like button like your middle name is Khabib. Once you finish biting your bagels, don't be a baby back bagel biting bitch boy. Not tonight. Smash that thumbs up button. I see people in the chat talking about Tony time, so I got y'all's back. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. It's Tony time. Here we go. Yeah, they wishing, they wishing, they wishing, they wishing, they wishing on me. It's Tony time, bitch, I don't care who's fucking with me. Staying away from tiramisu's a struggle for Khabib. You don't wanna fight, you wanna cuddle with me. My elbows are knives and I'ma cut you with these. I don't really give a fuck who's with me. If this fat fuck will make weights a big mystery. If you were smart, then you would probably pick me to submit Khabib at UFC 223. To submit Pettis at UFC 229. Tony time. Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke, would've probably beat Khabib. Then moved up and fought with Lee. Either wait for GSP. You don't wanna mess with me. Tony time. Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke, would've probably beat Khabib at UFC 223. Then moved up and fought with Lee. Either wait for GSP. What is going on, full-time family? We got UFC 232 going down this weekend in California. Yes, we had a location change. We all know about that madness by now, and I really don't even want to just keep talking about that, but there's not a lot going on in the MMA news. So what we're going to do on today's show, we're going to get the panel, we're going to get the family on here, and we're going to talk about these fights, talk about maybe some fights in the past if you guys want to talk about those. And then we're going to be out of you guys' hair on Christmas, let you get back to your families. Well, your other family, because you know we're a family, but you get it. All right, guys, so let me pull up the Google Hangout, man. Ain't got no time to fuck around. I'm not going to fuck around with the fuck around. Let's see. Google Hangout. We're going to start it right off the bat. I need some headphones. And I got some, too. I got some for Christmas. They're probably going to break. Here we go. All right. Link. Add people. Copy link. What's going on? All right, let's get this over here where it needs to be. And I'm going to put the link in the chat from the very beginning. All right, guys. Here we go. Boom, boom. Merry Christmas to everybody. There's the link if anyone wants to hop on here and talk about UFC 232. Some of these fights on the card. We got John Jones versus Alexander Gustafsson. Or should I say John Picogram Jones. We got Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. That's going to be a fucking great fight. Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa coming up to welterweight. Carlos Condit needs a W. BJ Penn also needs a W fighting on the prelims. Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson. One of these guys, winner of this fight, could very well be fighting for the title. I mean, the champions already agreed to fight both of these guys. Let me get some headphones before people get on here. And this shit starts echoing like crazy because right now my voice is just coming through my webcam, and the sounds are still coming through my speakers. So once we get some sounds on here, probably gonna start echoing. So to prevent that, we're gonna get these headphones plugged into this computer. That way I can hear, and you guys won't have to. All right, 1 second, guys. Boom. Just like that. Oh, these have a microphone on them. I wonder if this is going to make me use this microphone. I hope not. All right, guys. We're in the building. What's going on? I think I hear somebody. Let's see. All right, here's the link in the chat. Put it in there one more time. And I'll talk about the fights for a little bit if we wait for people who actually want to hop on the Google Hangout. But let's pull up the chat. See what we got going on. That guy, is this a press conference? Oh yeah, man, this is definitely a press conference. A full-time family press conference. John Doe says this is the full-time press conference. Oh yeah. Tony Time says Alan Clark. Mr. Perfect 2005 says we in here, fam. Merry Christmas. Marcus Bell says salute full-time fam. Jay Skills in the building. Remove Lizard. Full-time spitting bars. Valentine T. What's going on, man? He said, but he said it was like throwing a pinch of salt into the ocean. Now it's a pinch of salt into the ocean. No, that is funny, though. A pinch of salt into the ocean. John Doe says Jones asked what his walkout song should be and got roasted. Oh, I missed that, dude. I gotta see that. Britney Spears, oops, I did it again. Oh, no. Who said that? Was it DC or Gustafsson? That is fucking epic. That weird guy in the building. What's good, fam? Luis Gonzalez. Chad Mendez is winning, too, taking on Alexander Volkanovski. I think Chad Mendez might get that W, too. That's going to be another good fight. Alan Clark says Nunes Condit. Christina Rendozo says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Christina. Ila Latifi says, dude is tough. Yeah, no, Ila Latifi, man, he's a beast. I want to see him fight for the title. I mean, and we'll see if he can get this win. And if he can get this win, he'll be in a good position. Corey Anderson's a tough guy, fighter. He's got great wrestling, and so you can never really count him out, as we saw in his last fight that he stepped up and took on short notice. So it's going to be a tough matchup, but we've seen Ila Latifi submit OSP, who's also a great wrestler, put him to sleep in spectacular fashion and almost earned the title shot. So I'm really looking forward to that fight. London Colin, Stamina MC in the building. What is going on, brother? What's going on? Team Beige in the building. Thank you, Stamina MC, by the way. I got that $75, man. Everybody, Stamina MC sent me $75 on the PayPal for Christmas, so I got to let y'all know and say thank you very much. Team Beige in the building. Stamina MC. Thank you, dog. That's much appreciated. Yeah, that's definitely gonna help out. I gotta call my bank tomorrow and get this overdraft shit settled. I got fucked over on some overdraft shit, but that helps out. Thank you, man. Valentine T says, what happens if Gus beats John Jones? If Gus beats John Jones, we got a new GOAT! No, I'm just kidding. But yo, that would be so lit. That would be so lit. I hope Gustafsson beats John Jones. What the fuck is going on, bro? The only fighter that gets to fight with picograms, and I know it's like a pinch of salt in the ocean. Well, fuck that, bro. I'm Team Gustafsson. Luis Gonzalez says Chris Cyborg most likely to win. Yeah, I think Chris Cyborg gets the W, man. And Valentina Shevchenko picked Chris Cyborg. How can you go against her? P for P #1 in WMMA. But Chris Cyborg, she's got a great case at that as well, as far as being the best fighter in the world in WMMA. So gonna be, I think Chris Cyborg's, this is the thing. This is why it's such a good fight, because Amanda Nunes has a chance to win. I don't know if she will, but this is like a 70-30 fight. This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? Cyborg's probably just gonna dominate. She probably will dominate, but it's not as much of a guarantee in here. Like, Amanda Nunes is probably gonna have more power, more skills, and more size than a lot of the girls Chris Cyborg has fought. If you think about who she's been fighting in the UFC, it's really been a lot of bantamweights. And yes, Amanda Nunes is a bantamweight, but she's the bantamweight queen. She's the best bantamweight of all time. Oh, by the way, we know about the rivalry that Cyborg and Rousey kind of had. Like, people really wanted to see that fight. Ronda Rousey ducked the fade. We know how that played out. She's now in the WWE. Cyborg might come over there and put her ass through a table. But check this out. Who are the two girls that beat Ronda Rousey? Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes. So if Cyborg can beat Amanda Nunes, that's going to put that stamp on Ronda Rousey. as well, indirectly, because it's gonna be like, yeah, you didn't want to fight me, but these girls fucked you up. Both of these girls embarrassed you in the first round, and I beat both of them. So we don't really have to ask who would have won between me and you, right? You know what I'm saying? So if she can beat Amanda Nunes, that's gonna kind of put a stamp on that Ronda Rousey deal as well. But like I said, Amanda Nunes is the best bantamweight probably of all time, honestly. As female bantamweight, she's probably the best of all time. I mean, the only girl left for her to beat is really Holly Holm, that has a legacy at bantamweight. Current active top bantamweights. She already beat Holly Holm. She beat Miesha Tate. She beat Ronda Rousey. I mean, as far as bantamweights are concerned, Amanda Nunes is the best bantamweight of all time, in my opinion. And so, if Cyborg beats Amanda Nunes, there's no reason for her to fight another bantamweight. It's like, listen, don't feed me no more bantamweights. Y'all better develop this division, because I just beat none of these girls can beat Amanda Nunes, and I already beat Amanda Nunes. Why the fuck would I be fighting another bantamweight? It's time, you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing that's going to happen here as well. So this is going to be a really good fight. Really looking forward to it. And Amanda Nunes does have that power. That, you know what I'm saying? Nobody expected Michael Bisping to beat Luke Rockhold. We can go through upsets. I mean, Matt Serra GSP. We can go the first Rose fight with Joanna. I mean, afterward, it doesn't look like an upset. But going into that fight, nobody picked Rose to really win that fight against Joanna. So we've seen upsets, and Amanda Nunes has the power to, what if she rocks Chris Cyborg? You know what I'm saying? She's also got the grappling skills. She trains with the American Top Team, and she gets a lot of shit for it because Colby Covington trains there. But there's a lot of Brazilian fighters at American Top Team. It's not like they can all just fucking, you know, leave the gym because Colby Covington's there. So is everybody just a Crayonte? Like, is everybody that's been inside Andrea KGB's Lee's gym, do you associate them with Nazi? Like, come on, man. Like, I think that's a little too far. But, you know, she does get a bad rap for training with AT&T. But American Top Team is literally one of, I'll say one of. They're not the best. I give the best to AKA. They're the best. But American Top Team is probably next. It's AKA and American Top Team. To me, those are the best two camps in the world. Those are where a lot of the current champions come from. I mean, you look at Luke Rockhold, you look at Khabib, you look at Daniel Cormier, you look at Cain Velasquez, and just a lot of the other fighters from AKA. They got some other beasts that aren't champions or weren't former champions. American Top Team, you got Woodley, you got Nunes, you got Joanna, you got Covington, you got all these guys, the Thiago Alves of the world, the veterans all the way up to current champions of the world. Like, they just have a fucking roster of killers, and from all over the world. You know, AKA AT&T is up there. So that's where Kayla Harrison is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get a lot of the best prospects to all the way up to current champions to veterans. So it's one of the best camps in the world. And it's not like it's, you know, just a small room. Everyone comes in and sees each other every day. Like, I'm sure there's multiple fucking floors. I know there is AKA, but AT&T, there's so many different, like, Amanda Nunes ain't in there rolling with Colby Covington. You know what I'm saying? ATT might be the best, says Jay Skills. Yeah, it's close, man. It's AKA and ATT for me. Those are the two best to me. Like the videos, ain't no free rides, says Alex Santoyo. Yes, if you guys haven't finished biting your bagels, smash that like button like your middle name is Khabib. Fuck it. And your last name's Nurmagomedov. Eon says, Kayla already a better striker than CM Punk. Ain't even exaggerating. Oh, yeah, but they're going to sleep on Kayla. Kayla's fight's coming up, though. She's fighting on the 31st. But, you know, they're going after that. There's going to be something to say. Oh, she fought someone she was supposed to beat. She's going to keep silencing more and more critics. She's going to keep rising to the occasion. They're going to keep hating. But it is what it is. Because in 2020, ain't going to be denying. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. And the whole Kayla Harrison thing. People act like I'm saying she's just going to beat Chris Cyborg. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she's one of the only people with the potential. I'm saying when you look at her skill set, she's one of the only people that provides. We've never seen this challenge for Cyborg. We've never seen a girl that's a lightweight cutting down to featherweight that's training with one of the best teams in the world. We've never seen a 155-pound fighter whose specialty is grappling It's not like Chris Cyborg just goes in there and wrestles and submits girls. Yeah, we know Chris Cyborg is skilled and one of the best well-rounded fighters and greatest fighters, WMMA fighters. We get all that. I'm Team Cyborg. I know that she's the best fighter right now. Kayla Harrison might not even beat Cyborg, but you're not a hype job if you beat everybody else. Right now, in her third pro fight, Kayla Harrison's probably got a good chance against, like, Megan Anderson, who we've seen Holly Holm just completely out-grapple. Right now, today, Kayla Harrison has a good chance against some of the best 145ers in the world. That's like saying Daniel Cormier is a hype job because he didn't beat John Jones. It's like, oh, he beat everybody except for the GOAT, so he's a hype job. No, if Kayla Harrison beats every single person except for John Jones or except for Chris Cyborg, she's still a great fighter. If she beats the Megan Andersons and she beats everybody that's in featherweight at the time, and she goes undefeated until then, that's not a hype job. I hear somebody on the chat. Sounds like the panel's in effect. Stamina MC, what's going on?
Oh, then.
Let me get this on the screen. Let's see. With Hangout, boom. All right. There we go. What's going on, Stamina?
Season's greetings, bruv.
Season greetings.
Happy holidays and all them thing there.
Yes. How's it been going today, man? How you been having a good holidays? You celebrating up there?
Bruh, I'm not really much of a celebrator. I feel like Christmas is for like very, very young people and for parents and they're very, very family orientated. I'm none of those three things. Oh, and I'm not religious either. So yeah, none of those things either. I'm just not. It's just not for me. I don't like actively dislike it, but just like, nah, whatever. It's just, I went to my aunt's and I just ate the shit out of her kitchen and then I went home. Like, that's the important stuff, you know?
Yes, sir. Just being with family sometimes, on the holidays. That's really the majority of what I do, you know what I'm saying? Like, come over, like, all right, see everybody that you don't see throughout the year. But yeah, I hear you, man. All right, so we got these fights coming up. We know what's happened. We know about the whole John Jones being allowed to fight with some picograms of turbinol in his system. What are your thoughts on this whole situation, Stamina? This whole John Jones and UFC 232 being moved to California on short notice?
What do I think about it? I think it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, I don't understand why the UFC didn't just move the Jones-Gustafsson fight to wherever it was they needed to go, leave everything else where it was for the minimum amount of disruption to everything, put some fucking video screens in the arena and just stream the fucking fight from a couple of hours down the road. Everybody wins. Well, not everybody wins, but it's just the least amount of upset. Now, in regard to what actually caused this situation in the first place, I mean, people are going to go backwards and forwards over whether what that which was found is of any significance or not. To me, it's as simple as if they were prepared to take a man's belt away for what they found the first time, if they find that same shit the second time, why is it not a problem now? I don't understand. Like, if they found it once and it was a thing, why is it not a thing now? That makes no sense.
Yeah. And the first time, if it was the same amount, and they were willing to not only take his belt, overturn the result, suspend him he was going to get a 4-year suspension potentially. It's like, so if you guys knew that amount wasn't enough to enhance his performance, why was it a big deal then? And now it's like, whoa, we'll move an entire event to allow him to fight with this same stuff in his system. So that's wild. But now the entire event's going to be in California. The fight card is still intact. And so what do you think about the fight now, John Jones versus Gustafsson? Do you think this affects the fight at all? Does this make you lean one way or the other? Does this make you root for Gustafsson maybe more? Or does it make you think John Jones is probably going to win because he's on that shit?
No, I mean, the first Jones-Gustafsson fight was a teeny little bit before my time, so I didn't catch that. I'm going to make sure to go and watch it on Fight Pass before the weekend.
You have to. 100%. For me, that was John Jones' closest fight to this day. And honestly, when I was watching it live, I felt like Gustafsson might have got his hand raised, but in order to be the champion, you got to beat the champion. But it was a razor thin decision, and it could have went Gustafsson's way. So yeah, you got to make sure to watch that one before this one because it was just that close.
Yeah. I mean, there were even ideas being bandied around on Twitter whereby what reason would there have been to not have put Jones Gustafsson as the just cancelled 233? Put it in Anaheim next month and build something around that. It's like, is a month really going to kill anybody? Really? Like, because then people have also got time to actually prepare for it, get themselves to it, flights, book their hotels, all that type of shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
that's
live in
actually
America,
a great
so
point.
I don't really understand the geography the way that someone like yourself would. But
Yeah, no, that's actually a great point because they just canceled UFC 233 about a month away, and I mean, people are still going to be upset because they already bought their travel and stuff, and the event was canceled. But they could at least, spend their vacation in Vegas, and they would still have a chance to see the fight that they came to see. They would have more time, if they had to work or whatever to save up the money. Because now a lot of people are in a position where they would have to pay double the travel, double the fees since it's holiday time for this travel. And so that would, I think, even just doing that, just moving it to the canceled event that was going to be in January, that would even be better. There's no way to make everybody happy. And of course, there's still going to be people that are like, I flew my family out here, now my fight's canceled, or it's just rescheduled though in that sense. Now people are actually who wanted to see it live are going to miss the fight. If you flew out because you wanted to see Cyborg or Gustafsson or John Jones, you might not be able to see this fight live just because you can't, travel in 1 week's notice to California. But you might be able to if you had a month's notice. You might still be able to go see it. So yeah, just that. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of ways that this could have came out better, but man, yeah, this is a wild situation. I don't know if we've ever seen this before. I see BJ Johnson in the building. What's going on, BJ? Dennis Espinoza, how's it going? Benji says, what did Stamina just say? Stream the fight from Dana's backyard or something? No, he was saying potentially you could just have the main event. If you leave the rest of the card in Vegas and just have the main event in a separate, just have John Jones and Gustafsson go fight in like California and stream that fight. Now, that would be unprecedented. That's never been done before. I don't know how they would go about doing that for like a pay-per-view. Do you sell like the Cyborg Nunes full card for like $40 and then John Jones Gustafsson for 20? I don't know how they would do that, but he's just talking about ways that they could have went around this whole debacle of transferring the location on 1 week's notice. You know what I'm saying? So, Alan Clark says Tony Ferguson never used roids. He got brave with Verdun, who beat Kane and Fedor. Tony time, bitches. Oh yeah. All right. BJ Johnson says let's chat. All right. There's the link in the Hangout. And so yeah, we got also on this. So Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. I wouldn't be surprised if at your stance on this. I would imagine. What do you think about this fight, Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes? You think Nunes has any much of a chance, or
Cyborg
is
Nation all day, bro.
I was gonna say, or is
However, I'm not one of those fanatics. Like, I will clearly state that this is about as deep as it's gonna get in the UFC for Chris. This weekend, it gets no rougher than this. If this is no challenge, there are no challenges.
100% until 2020.
I shut your mouth. Like I don't really see a way that Nunes can do it, but she can do it. She's not a dickhead. Like, she can fucking fight. Like, she can definitely do it, but I don't really see a way for her to do it. If a fight's a fight, anything can happen.
Yeah, she would have to like catch her, and Cyborg would have to be rocked. Or she would have to kick her in that ankle that she fell on. No, I'm just playing that.
Yeah, you got like Ed Harris III over on Coach's channel saying that, just going back to the, if you looked at Chris during the Yana fight, Yana got her down on some bullshit. So if
that is actually a good point.
No,
But
it's not a good point. It's like
I would
the
more
people,
use that argument in the Kayla Harrison fight than I would for Nunes. But that is
100%, because that's what she does, and she's proven at that. Like I find that the people who talk about the way Yana got Chris down are the same kind of people that talk about the way that Michael Johnson rocked Khabib.
yeah.
They've got no critiques, so they just cling to that one little detail to just discredit them and say, "Look, there's the hole." You haven't got anything else to say apart from that one thing. That's all you've got.
No,
Like,
100%.
So yeah, I'm not really trying to hear that. Nunes can do it.
Yeah, I think if Nunes
competitive.
does it, I don't think it would be out grappling Chris. I think it would be like rocking her. You know what I'm saying? If she's able to just catch her, because she's got power. If she's able to, catch her and before Cyborg's able to recover, jump on her. That's the only way I really. But and even that's a long shot. But I think that's how I would see an upset if it were to happen, because I don't know if Cyborg's really fought anybody with this power. With that Amanda Nunes possesses in her striking. So anybody, anyone can get rocked, and so that. But yeah, I don't see a Nunes just like out grappling Cyborg for 3 rounds.
5.
BJ Johnson, there's the Google Hangouts link right there. I put it in the chat. You should be able to just click on that. Luis Gonzalez says, do you guys think John Jones has been microdosing steroids in order for it to get out of his system this fast? I don't know. I'm not a steroids expert, but when you use terms like microdosing and masking agents, and then you hear people like GSP on the Joe Rogan podcast talk about how there's always they're always, it's like $1 million industry, $1 billion industry, however many dollars. It's a big business, steroids, and they're always trying to stay on top of testing because people want to win, So, I mean, if you're somebody that has access to the best of the best shit, and just hearing terms like microdosing and masking agents, it seems like it would make sense. And then also when you look at it on the base surface level of, he tested positive, and then he had 3 clean tests, and now it's fight time, and he tested positive again. It's like, how is that not re-ingestion? You're going to tell me that there's something that he took that's like a grain of salt in the ocean in an Olympic side? You're going to tell me that little bit amount was in his system, and then it phased out for 3 tests, and then it pulsed back in? And it's the same. It's not re-ingestion. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is where a situation where you're like, do you just take Dana White and Jeff Nowitzki's word for it? But they're also saying they went to other outside experts, and they're putting their reputations on the line as well. They're saying, look, we went to SMRTL. We went to these guys. So they're putting a lot of people's reputations on the line in that situation. But what's funny is Chael Sonnen always finds a way to kind of to talk about a situation, because he just posted a video and he was talking about AT&T, and it doesn't sound like it has anything to do with this story, but he was talking about how he had AT&T's insurance policy, and I'll just give you a brief run of it. And he said he broke his phone and needed a new phone that day. So he went down to AT&T to get a new phone, and they were like, you have to go through the insurance company for your new phone. So he called the insurance company, and they said it was going to take about a week, knowing that he needed his new phone today. And AT&T was like, well, sorry, you got to go through the insurance company. And they were like, the insurance company was like, well, you got to talk to AT&T. So they just went back and forth, and eventually he had to buy a new phone, and his insurance did nothing for him. But they just passed the buck back and forth. And I kind of see that in this situation where USADA's like, it's not just us. We also went to SMRTL and these other guys. It's kind of like it's not like we're clearing John Jones. So when you just look at the details, for me, it seems like John Jones is being allowed to fight. And then also, add in remember the whole substantial assistance clause? How the reason John Jones was being allowed to fight, it wasn't because they found the contaminated supplement. It wasn't. John Jones sent in 13 to 14 supplements for them to test and see if they could find which one had the turbinol. None of them came back with turbinol. All of the supplements were clean. So the way he came back was through the substantial assistance clause. We don't know if he, who he was giving substantial assistance on, but that's the whole snitch clause people are talking about. But so it wasn't because we found a contaminated supplement. It's because he was providing substantial assistance. So now, and they said he had to continue providing substantial assistance. So when you also take that into consideration, it's like, is he being allowed to fight with this in his system because he's providing substantial assistance? You've seen the fucking, I mean, if you don't know anyone in real life, or if you know, that's probably, you probably don't, but even if not, you've seen a fucking movie. You know, a cop will let a drug dealer keep selling drugs if they're snitching. Like, okay, yeah, you can stay out on the streets and make your money as long as you keep snitching. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a situation where they're letting John Jones do this because he's providing substantial assistance over here. But either way, also on the surface level, we know it's in his system. Even if it's a trace amount, even if it's a picogram in the ocean, you know what I'm saying? A grain of salt split into 50 million pieces, and it's not enough to help his performance. We know it's there, and we know other fighters cannot have that in their system. So I just don't see a way to positively look at this for John Jones at all.
Well, testing is evolving, so it'll be interesting to see if they find people with the same amount in their system. My point would be that when he was popped in the last fight after the Cormier fight, you know, it wasn't a significant amount to even give him a benefit. This isn't a significant amount to give him a benefit either. He raised an interesting idea about him being able to allow to fight because he's providing assistance to the USADA. My question would be, who's been popped since then?
And they said it doesn't have to be a fighter. It doesn't have to be a coach. It doesn't even have to be about steroids. He could be providing it to a different governing body, from what I read. Like, if he was providing assistance on like the person that provided the Chinese cocaine, that's substantial assistance. So I mean, and that's something we would never know, but we do know he is supposed to be providing substantial assistance and continuing to do so.
That's an interesting idea.
And what's going on, John? I see you're in the building. How's it going?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yep.
I've never really done this before. But I don't know, man. I think Jones, I don't know. I think USADA, something needs to happen with that. They need to switch something up, or maybe not even tell us, like, this shit's, I'm tired of getting fights getting canceled. Look at Sean O'Malley, what happened to him? Like, he's probably like, what the fuck right now, you know? I mean, they need to do something different, because I would love to have a clean sport, but a fake clean sport is, to me, is worse than just letting them go balls to the wall, because, you know, my biggest thing is I'm just tired of fights getting canceled, and it's like happening more than, I mean, I've been watching this shit for over 10 years. It's happening more today than it's like 10 times more or something. It's crazy how many fights are canceled now.
Yeah, it's wild, and it's like this time, in order to prevent the fight being canceled, they moved the entire location. So it's like you can't make everyone happy, because you know, there would be a lot of people if John Jones' fight was just canceled and Gustafsson wasn't fighting, there'd be a lot of people that we're like, well, damn, another fight is canceled as well. So
I'm not a fan of Jones, and I would still be mad.
Yeah,
if this fight got canceled.
End of the year card. Yep. I completely hear that. And so now they're gonna still be fighting in California. I'll ask you, John. So what are your thoughts on this fight going into it this weekend, knowing everything? Do you think Gustafsson can win this one? Well, I'm sure he can, but how do you think it's gonna play out?
I feel like Gus throws a lot more combos now. Like, you know, when he fought Jones, he would just kind of like pick his shots, and he didn't really follow through with, you know, his 1-2s, or that was about it. You know, he didn't really go off on his combos. In his last couple fights, even though they've been a while, you know, he was really, when he was fighting Glover, I mean, he was really laying it on him. So I feel like if he really followed up with more punches, I feel like he's improved. I feel like Jones has too. So it's hard to tell because of the skill sets, but I feel like Gus can win, and I'm gonna go with Gus this time. But I mean, I won't be surprised if Jones wins either.
Yeah, man, it would be crazy if he hit him with one of those triple uppercuts that he hit Gus with, or that he hit Glover with, that Gus hit Glover with. So now I'll ask you this, Stamina. Alexander Gustafsson coming into this fight, do you think that he should take the fight, you know, knowing everything, you know, like, do you think that he should still take this fight, or do you think he should be like, hold on? Because and I ask you that because On Twitter, Alexander Gustafsson said, "Now we all understand why you didn't take the water test. You can be on rocket fuel. I'm still going to finish you." So we don't want to see no lawsuit after the fact. Kind of like when Mark Hunt said, he's still going to beat up Brock Lesnar. And now he's in the lawsuit with the UFC. And everyone loves Mark Hunt. But what do you think about Gustafsson still taking this fight, knowing that there's picograms in John Jones' system?
Well, I mean, I think there's no real way that he can actually look good or sleep well at night if he makes a fuss about it. Partly on account of that which you just said, that quote you just said, and partly on account of the fact that Jones basically just has a massive asterisk over his entire fucking record now.
Yes.
Like, even aside from that, Gus has been in 2 title fights and has lost them both. This is kind of it for him. Like, if he fucks this one up, he might not get another one. So he better not back out of this fucking fight.
Yeah.
This is kind of it now. He's the gatekeeper from now on if he doesn't win this.
And he hasn't been super actively just like knocking dudes out like 3 times a year to really call his shots. He's not in the same position as like a DC. Yeah. So I'll ask you the same question. What about Daniel Cormier? Do you think he should fight John Jones? And do you think he should risk fighting John Jones a 3rd time if he's going to be allowed to have however small amount, even if it doesn't affect the fight, trace amounts of Turbinol in his system?
Man, I'll keep it a buck with you. I don't think that anything good would come from DC actually fighting Jones again. I.e., were he to win, people would only say, "Oh, well, you still lost twice." So, they'll still be able to talk shit on account of that. Personally, I don't actually think he would win. I just don't. So I just think the risk to reward ratio is way too high. People are going to talk shit anyway. I don't think he will feel vindicated if he only wins the once when Jones was beaten twice, because the whole time he has said, yeah, Jones won those fights. He never actually went to, being chemically enhanced as a reason for his loss. Jones won those fights because he was the better fighter that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with all that said, no, DC really shouldn't, because if he loses again, then his reputation is absolutely in fucking ribbons. Like, take the Brock fight, make your money, and fuck off. Like, don't bother with Jones anymore. Nothing good can come of that. You might feel a little bit better, but the ways in which it can go sour for you otherwise, it's a fucking bad idea, man.
Yeah. And I'll ask the same question to you, Dennis Espinosa, but just to respond to that, I'll say I think Daniel Cormier, I mean, given the fact that it would be the last fight in his career now, the only reason I'll say it wouldn't leave his legacy in rivets is because there's that asterisk, like, oh, well, we know John Jones, potentially had picograms of whatever in his system. But I think Daniel Cormier, I completely agree he should not take the fight unless, he's a guy that, he'll negotiate he could probably get the biggest payday of his career, being the fact that he has all the cards. He could just walk away and say, I don't want to fight him. He's failed how many tests now, and so he might be able to get or negotiate one of a huge payday to make it worth it, as to where someone like Gustafsson, you can't really make much of a fuss. And Daniel Cormier, he could just retire and say, all right. So I think he might be able to negotiate like a 5 or, some crazy $10 million deal to where he'd say, fuck it, I'll fight him. I've beat other guys on steroids. And you know what? How about we do it at heavyweight, since I'm calling the shots? And because I would really like to see that fight at heavyweight. So I'll ask you, Dennis Espinosa, how do you feel about Gustafsson taking this fight? Do you think that he should have put up more of a fuss, or do you think he kind of just is in a position to just take the fight regardless of what we know about John Jones now?
I think he's smart not to make a fuss. There's no reason for him to not take the fight, and it's not a matter of John being on steroids. Basically, if he stay clean and take anything for the next 6 months, they don't understand what the half-life is once that's in your system. And I'm curious to do some research on what it takes to flush that out, because you can flush toxins out of your body. I'm not sure what it takes to flush Turnaball out of your body. So I don't think any win for Gus making a fuss. He needs to go in there and fight the best fight he can. He hasn't looked too impressive in his last couple of fights, really.
Okay.
So I see no problem with Gus taking the fight. I'd take the fight if I was Gus. As far as Cormier, winning the last one is more important than losing the first 2. It carries more weight. But you're right. There's only a win for him to satisfy any pride he has about it, and pride can kill you. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if Cormier, wants to avenge those first two losses a third time. It would be interesting, and I'd like to see it at heavyweight too.
Okay, I hear that. All right. And all right, so we'll move on, and I'll stay with you, Dennis Espinosa. We'll move on to Chris Cyborg. And I already asked Stan MC a little earlier. Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. Do you give Amanda Nunes much of a chance in this fight, or do you think Cyborg? If not, how do you think Cyborg gets it done?
I think it'll be an interesting fight. I give Nunes more of a shot than most people. Nunes has above average power, but I don't think she has the devastating power that people want to make out that she has. If you watch the first Rousey fight, or the Rousey fight, not first, the first and last, basically, she hits Rousey with some really flush shots, but Rousey never really goes down. It's ultimately stopped with Rousey standing, really staggered and out of it. She never puts Rousey down, though. And it's easy to look like a good striker against someone with a poor striking like Rousey or Miesha Tate, right? And if you look at the first left that Amanda throws in the Rousey fight, if Rousey had decent stand-up, she would have countered her with the right and really tagged her. But Rousey was too slow. She throws it way too late. So if you watch that carefully, you can see big openings in Nunes striking. It's being said that Nunes is going to want to take her to the ground. I'll find that interesting too, because we can really, if that happens, we'll find, Chris won't be messing around with it like she did with Yana and Evanger and all that. She'll be totally serious, and we'll find out really how much of a ground game Chris has. Chris has beat Olympic wrestlers, and so that'll be interesting to see that finally revealed. Hopefully, it's finally revealed how good her ground game really is.
Yeah, man, that'll be interesting to see. Benji says the half-life of Terminal is like 16 hours, according to a comment I saw earlier. Of course, it needs to be fact-checked. But, and that's, and I wanted to say that on Dennis Espinosa's point about the half-life. Yeah, I mean, I hear that too, but they're saying something about, like, and it's Terminal we're talking about, that this could be, like, permanently in John Jones's system. They said this could be in there forever. So that's crazy because and it was out of his system for 3 tests, but they're saying like it could pulse in and out. Yeah, it just doesn't sound like anything we've ever heard of. But like I said, there's always those new designer drugs, and it sounds like. But even if that's the case, like you should just be banned from the sport if you've got some like access to some sort of designer. Even if it was a contaminated supplement or a dick pill or Chinese cocaine, whatever you did, if it has some sort of pulsing turbinol now permanently in your system, you should probably just not be allowed to fight. But yeah, they said it could be in there for as long as, who knows? They don't know.
If it gives them no benefit, I don't see why you can't fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if they're saying it gives him no benefit, but I mean, it's a little sketchy, the fact that it's in his system. But yeah, I mean, the amount that's in his system gives him no benefit. And another thing is John Jones is going to be enrolled now he's going to be the first fighter in history to be enrolled in USADA and VADA testing, who's independent of the UFC. So we'll see how that plays out as well. Andrew Spateri says, John is a cheater, plain and simple, but the old saying goes, money talks, bullshit walks. Benji, on the Chris Cyborg, Amanda Nunes topic, says, Chris is used to being the hammer, not the nail. Interesting to see what happens when she gets tagged a few hard times. And I hear what you're saying there, Benji. But, I mean, Dennis Espinosa broke it down pretty well there, Amanda Nunes, and she still has solid striking. She's not going to be on the level of Chris Cyborg. And I don't think she's got that. Maybe if she hit you flush, she could knock you out in one punch. I'm sure she could do it. She has the potential, but I don't think it's the overwhelming power. Like I'm not overrating Amanda Nunes' power. I'm kind of on the tip that Benji was just talking about. Like we've never really seen Chris Cyborg in trouble, and Amanda Nunes. I mean, it's going to be hard for her to even get her in that position. There's not a good chance. But it would be interesting to see if she did tag Cyborg, just because we've never seen it. Now, it's going to be hard to do it, but yeah, it would be interesting. And she does probably, even if she doesn't have overwhelming power, she's probably got a little more power than the girls the Cyborg has been fighting lately. So, but yeah.
Well, Holly hit her pretty good and made her bleed, and that just made Cyborg happy. She's a warrior.
Yeah.
she's gonna do the opposite. She's not gonna faint when she's hurt. She's gonna get more intense.
Yeah, she's not gonna. Yeah, and it's not. I don't see Cyborg like wilting when she gets punched at all. I mean, I'm just thinking about. I was watching the Embedded series and I seen Cyborg do Jason Perillo, and I was just sitting there waiting for the slap. Like, oh shit, here it comes, here it comes. Trey Young says, "Merry Christmas."
She's undefeated at featherweight though. A lot of people forget that about Amanda Nunes. That back when she used to fight featherweight, she's undefeated at featherweight. She actually went away from featherweight to not fight Chris Cyborg. So it's
So
kind
you
of
think she
ironic.
might be like the female Daniel Cormier? What's going on, BJ Johnson? Good to see you. Merry Christmas. How's everything going?
We're going pretty good, man. Absolutely. Just enjoying the holidays. You know, I'm trying now to get back to this MMA news, man. They jerked us right out of the holiday, man.
Yes, sir. That was wild. Okay, so Benji says, I think Crystal cut off the octagon and beat her up. I was just saying, yeah. Okay, so I'll ask you, BJ Penn. Everyone else is pretty BJ Penn. I'll ask you, well, BJ Johnson. I'll ask you about BJ Penn. But first, I want to ask you your thoughts on the whole John Jones versus Gustafsson card being moved to California on short notice.
Yeah, man. I actually did a video on that, man. And the thing about that, man, is it inconvenienced a lot of fighters. I get inconvenience. It's screwing up weight cuts. It's not only screwing up, money.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's screwing up weight cuts, schedules, and then you got to throw traveling in there and all that kind of stuff. And apparently, traveling affects a weight cut. So you got to throw all that into consideration. Now, that's putting a lot of fighters in a bind just to accommodate one person.
Yeah, and their health is on the line. Honestly, these guys are about to be fighting. And you're jeopardizing their preparation for the fight. Every single fighter that's got to get on a plane and it's affecting their weight cut. If there's a brutal knockout, there's reason to, and they're probably not going to, but they could say, man, in the middle of my weight cut, I had to fucking get on a plane and travel, and that could affect their performance. So if someone gets brutally knocked out, you're fucking with people's preparation for a big fight. So a lot of stuff's being affected. If somebody misses weight now, can't be too surprised. Like, they had to get on a flight and change everything and find flights for their family and stuff in the middle of their weight cut. A lot of stuff that they weren't planning on dealing with.
Ironically, it helps Chris because she lives in Newport Beach, so it's going to help her.
Yeah, sucks for Amanda Nunes. Andrew Cooper says, Merry Christmas, guys. You're the true heroes on this holiday, keeping us entertained. Yeah, thank you, everybody, for joining us on these holidays. It means a lot to everybody being here. So, yeah, thank you, guys. But, yeah, so I'll ask you because we'll talk about this, and I'll ask everybody, but I'll start with BJ since I called you BJ Penn. BJ Penn's going to be fighting Ryan Hall on this card. Are you looking forward to this fight at all? Are you looking forward to BJ Penn taking on Ryan Hall?
I saw that a few days ago and whatnot. I saw what they announced that. It's a winnable fight for BJ Penn, but it just depends on what BJ Penn we're gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really does depend on how BJ prepares for this fight. You know what I'm saying? Because Ryan Hall could win this fight, but this is a very winnable fight for BJ Penn. For classic BJ, if we get classic BJ Penn.
Now, I'll say this, Ryan Hall, man, he's dangerous. He's really known for his leg locks. The thing about this and why I think I like it is because we don't have to worry about seeing BJ Penn getting Frankie Edgar or what Frankie Edgar did to Yair Rodriguez or what Yair Rodriguez did to BJ Penn or something like that. Like, if he loses this fight, it'll probably be via submission, but definitely looking forward to see if he can get back on the winning track. I'll ask you guys quickly, because this isn't the biggest fight on the card. John, what are your thoughts on BJ Penn coming back to fight Ryan Hall? What are your thoughts on this fight?
I guess it's an all right matchup, for BJ Penn, better than the last few guys that they gave him. I still feel like Ryan Hall is probably going to win.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, BJ Penn, he's got the boxing, but I feel it hasn't evolved, all these young guns. And then, you know, he doesn't really utilize kicks or anything, which Ryan Hall does. And I mean, they're both really good on the ground. So I feel like that's probably where it's going to go, or it's going to be boring striking kind of match maybe, or, you know, something that's not as exciting. But I don't know, if it goes to the ground, it'll be kind of cool to see what happens, to see who's the better guy on the ground.
Okay, all right. And I'll ask you now, Stamina, what are your thoughts on BJ Penn taking on Ryan Hall? Do you have any thoughts really on this one? I know BJ Penn was probably a little before your time as an MMA fan as well.
Man, I don't want to see that fight. If I'm not in the kitchen making snacks while that shit is on, I'll be watching it through my fucking fingers like this. I don't want to see it, bro. I don't want to see it. Like, for me, even though it's obviously not the same thing, in my mind, BJ Penn might as well be fucking Chuck Liddell. Like, just don't do it. It's enough, man. Don't fight anymore. Stop. Like, I don't want to see this shit no more, man.
Oh, okay. All right. And what about you, Dennis Espinoza?
BJ Penn was a great fighter in his time. He went up and beat heavier people. He should have retired 2 fights ago and bought himself a gold-plated watch. Stamina on that one.
Okay, I hear that. Yeah, man. All right, let's look at these other prelims. We also got Kat Zingano versus Megan Anderson on the card. So, oh yeah, Dennis Espinoza. I'll stay on you. What are your thoughts on Kat Zingano versus Megan Anderson at featherweight?
Kat takes her down. If Kat's smart, she doesn't pull what she did with Rousey. She doesn't rush in. She sets her takedown up. Once she gets Megan on her back, it's going to be ground and pound like she did the Nunes. You know, Megan can always catch her with that big right, and that would be a game changer. But odds are that my opinion is that odds are Kat takes her down and grounds and pounds her.
Okay, I'll come to you next, BJ Penn, on this featherweight fight at UFC 232. Kat Zingano versus Megan Anderson. I gotta hear it, BJ. How's it going down?
This fight, Megan has to win this fight. Like, Megan Anderson, I'm not going for Megan Anderson. I'm going for Kat Zingano, but you know, Megan Anderson has to win this fight. Like, this is a very important fight. Like, because Megan has come into the UFC. She was supposed to be the great featherweight, hope, and you know, she's 0-1. She lost to Holly, and if she loses to Kat, you know what I'm saying, you can pretty much kiss the featherweight division goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you know, I see, like I said, like everybody said, man, I see Kat getting this fight to the ground and just beating Megan up. If Holly can hold Megan down, Kat can hold Megan down. You know, and you know, Kat. I hope Kat don't try to strike with Megan, even though Kat will strike with Megan. But that's the only chance I think Megan has is the striking war. If Kat turns into a striking war.
Okay, all right. Do you have any different thoughts on this fight, Stamina MC? And you're echoing now for some reason. There you go, no filter. You got any different thoughts on this, Stamina MC? Kat Zingano versus Megan Anderson at featherweight?
No, I'm pretty much in accordance with BJ. I don't think I have really much to add to what either him or Dennis have said. That's pretty much it. If Kat stays on the feet with Megan, she's going to fucking sleep. Like, she just is. Like, as I was saying in the chat earlier before we even started on this, like, Kat Zingano is now, even if she wasn't before or whether she was, she's defensively irresponsible now. She doesn't have a lot of head movement. She doesn't have a lot of defense. Like, she's going to drink all of those fucking punches and it won't be pretty. It won't be pretty. She's been through a few too many wars as it is. I like Kat Zingano a great deal, but I just feel like she's damaged goods now. And it's not going to be good for her if she tries to stand and trade in the fucking pocket with someone as powerful as Megan. Because that's basically all she's got. She's just got raw power. She doesn't really have skill or technique or any of those other things. So if she tries to go like brute force versus brute force with Megan, she will not win. No way. So she needs to be very cerebral, to be very smart, to make it as uncomfortable for Megan as possible rather. But yeah, BJ covered that, Dennis covered that. Nothing to add.
Okay, and I'll come to you in just a second, John. Hey, Zan3119. I haven't been looking at the chat. I'm seeing your comment. You says it's like I can't see your comments. I've been going back and forth with the panel. I'll come back to the chat in just a second. I see you said full time. I know you was watching back in the day when I was. BJ in the corner says GSP was recent and now after analysts. I completely agree. What do you think? Yeah, I've seen that replay. Back in the day, I didn't even notice it going on, but like now, back in the, I was a casual fan back then. So now looking back at it, yeah, I mean, it clearly looks like it happened. And Dana White, was even I remember he was in the crowd at that event talking about, like, he was fucking greasing. Like, I think he was talking to Rashad Evans, going back and looking at the highlight. I mean, that shit was wild, but you know what they say. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, no, that's fucked up. It's a fucked up situation. But if you don't get caught in the action, to me, with that, it's kind of like, and it's a little different, but it's kind of like if somebody gets away with an eye poke right before a knockout, or if somebody gets away with pulling someone's glove right before a submission, or if you get away with it in the fight, they can't go back and overturn the result or anything, like that. And maybe sometimes you can appeal it and get it overturned. But yeah, no, that definitely is something that happened. I definitely believe, I'm not someone that would deny that. So yeah, but real quick, I want to go to John. What are your thoughts on Kat Zingano versus Megan Anderson at featherweight on the prelims? Because that's really one of the only other fights that stands out. We got Peter Yan and Andre Arlovsky, Walt Harris on the card. Some good fights, but really that's one I want your opinion on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way Kat can stand and strike with Megan. I think she'll be able to take, some of the heat a little bit, but I also think she'll be able to take Megan down unless Megan's like really done some takedown defense training since Holly took her down.
Yeah, I don't think there's been enough time.
And kept taking her down, so I would think that was what Kat would do, but Kat can be wild, man. She likes to be a warrior. She likes to. I remember when she fought Amanda Nunes and ended up winning, and then she like screamed or something after. She's
primal.
She's pretty hardcore. So I feel like she'll just take her down pretty easily. That'll probably be the end of it. I mean, she has the IQ to do it, but will she? I would think so.
Okay. And, I mean, Andre Arlovsky's taking on Walt Harris at heavyweight. Andre Arlovsky, I mean, he went on a little bit of a winning streak recently, which has been surprising because he was on quite a bit of a losing streak before he snapped that streak and went on his most recent win streak. But he got a tough task with Walt Harris, which is going to be the headlines of the prelims. I mean, this is a fight. I'm not dying. I'm not as interested in the other ones. I'll just ask anybody. Anybody have any thoughts they want to share on Arlovsky versus Walt Harris? You can just speak up. I don't think this is one we have to go to each individual person on. All right. Nope, I didn't think so. I just wanted to give anyone the chance if they wanted to talk about it. But let's look at the prelims, the early prelims, and we'll see if there's any fights on there that stand out on UFC 232. And then also, I'll get you guys' thoughts on Lee versus Iaquinta. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. So the early prelims, we have Nathaniel Wood, Andre Ewell, Uriah Hall, Bavon Lewis. Okay, nothing crazy. On the main card, we do got Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa. Let's talk about a few of the fights on the main card. Michael Chiesa is moving up to welterweight for this bout, and he's going to be taking on Carlos Condit. Now, this is actually not a bad matchup for Michael Chiesa because Carlos Condit, like out of his last 4 losses, 2 of them have been via submission, and Michael Chiesa, he's going to be looking to kind of refresh people's memory on his ground game because he's got submitted in a couple of his fights, and he's actually known for submitting people. So I'll start with you, John. What are your thoughts on Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa at welterweight? And be careful what you say if you don't want to get sued. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. What are your thoughts? And Merry Christmas, Tay Brown.
Merry Christmas. I don't know. You were saying that too. So
Someone
I
in the
think,
comments. Go
I
ahead.
think Carlos Condit, I think he's going to take it, man. I think his striking is better than Chiesa's. I do think Condit, he's lost some fights. I feel like the old him would have won. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I think Chiesa, I just don't think his striking's up to par, and I think he is good on the ground, but he's kind of sloppy. Like, he makes a lot of mistakes that gives a lot of other people chances, like how Anthony Pettis got him. So I think this is. I'm hoping this is the fight. I like Carlos Condit too a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Chiesa's cool. I don't have nothing against him, but I'll be a little biased and go with Carlos Condit.
Okay, and I see Given Surname on the panel. Happy holidays to you. What's going on, man?
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Yeah, thanks for letting me hop on. And wouldn't it suck? Wouldn't it absolutely suck if Chiesa just fucking laid on him? Because Condit's pretty good on the ground, but I mean, I could see it going. I don't know. I could see Condit getting back up, but I feel like that's definitely going to be Chiesa's game plan, is to try to get it to the ground. I don't think he's stupid enough to try to stand and bang with Carlos Condit. So
yeah, hopefully the fact that he's moving up 15 pounds, maybe that will go in Carlos Condit's favor. But I seen you had a little reaction to that. Stan and MC, what are your thoughts on this fight and how it could potentially play out?
Man, I can give you nothing objective whatsoever to this. Like, irrespective of what's going on right now, like, I've always just really, really hated Michael Chiesa. Like, there's just his energy is just I'm not with it. Like, I don't like his fighting style. He just seems like a really fucking irritating human being as well. I'm just like, please, Condit, fuck him up.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't seem like somebody that would be in the full-time family, or like, it's like it's definitely not somebody whose circle I would have probably been in at any point in my life. Like,
no, definitely. He'd be getting timed out every 5 minutes in the chat, like, he's a little dick, man. I just want Condit to fuck him up. Like,
that's
Condit's,
Stewie, bro.
like, yeah, basically.
All right.
I got nothing to see here. Move along.
All right, I'll go to you next, John. What are your thoughts on this fight? Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa at welterweight. John?
You asking me again?
Yeah. Oh, wait. I thought I asked. Oh, Dennis Espinosa. I'm sorry, John. Dennis Espinosa, what are your thoughts? I knew I had to go to BJ Penn still. There was one other person. My bad. What are your thoughts on Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa, Dennis?
Always been a natural born killer fan. He got robbed. He's always been so close to a title. He's more polished than Chiesa. I'm pulling for Condit. I think he wins if he's got the skill sets. He's been around for a long time too, but he's always pretty sharp. I haven't seen him fade too much. So if Carlos shows up with his normal skill set, he's a lot more polished, and I think he beats Chiesa.
Okay, and saving the best for last. Well, kind of everybody's the best, but that's just to say. BJ Johnson, what are your thoughts on Condit versus Chiesa? No Filter MMA. And you're muted if you're talking. All right. It looks like your screen sharing. Your screen sharing and you're muted. There you go.
There we go. Yeah, I was screen sharing, but now I can't find it. But yeah, guys, most definitely. I'm gonna have to go with Carlos Condit just because Condit is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, especially he's got the striking over Chiesa, and once again, dude, like Michael Chiesa is just so fucking annoying. Like that from his voice to his hair, man. Like I can't get down with him, man. And this whole lawsuit he's got. I mean, all this stuff, man. Like, and on top of that, I just don't think he has the skill set to really beat Carlos Condit. Carlos Condit has been there and done that. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm most definitely gonna root for Carlos Condit. I just believe Carlos beats him on the feet. That's what I think.
Okay.
I'm trying to screen share that. I had a picture of Condit pulled up, and thing messed up.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing, because I was like, man, maybe we should have paused before we brought BJ on here.
Nah.
I was just joking. But all right, no, this is a fight I'm actually looking forward to on the main card. The next fight we're going to talk about, Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson. I don't know why. I think it was probably just his last performance that really put him on my radar, Ilir Latifi, when he put OSP to sleep. This dude's no. Before that, he offered to step up, I believe, on short notice, and fight at heavyweight. So this is a guy that I think he's fought at heavyweight in the past as well. So he's got the potential to fight at light heavyweight and heavyweight. And he said he would fight DC at either weight class. Now, of course, that might be biting off a little more than you can chew, but the way he put OSP to sleep really made him stand out to me. And now he's going to be fighting another very talented wrestler, Corey Anderson, who's coming off of he stepped up and I believe fought Glover on short notice and won that fight. So both of these guys could win, barring how the lightweight division plays out. Of course, there's probably going to be some politics at the top of the division. If John Jones wins, he probably will be fighting like DC or suspended or something. So there might be politics. The reason these guys might not get a title shot, but this is potentially a title eliminator. I'm really looking forward to see how Ilir Latifi looks in this fight, but I definitely am not going to count Corey Anderson out, because he's just got that great wrestling that you can't count out. I mean, and Ilir Latifi, he's a good wrestler himself, and he's shown he can submit great wrestlers in OSP, who's very well rounded. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this fight. I don't know if you guys are as excited as I kind of am for this fight. I'll start with you, Dennis Espinoza, this time. What are your thoughts on Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson?
That'll be an interesting fight. I believe Anderson has a lot more reach on Latifi, but Latifi is a pretty tough guy. I'll be looking forward to watching that fight. I really can't provide too deep of a breakdown. I've seen Latifi, I've seen Corey Anderson. They haven't really evaluated them in depth.
Okay, I'll go to you next. Given your name, what are your thoughts on this light heavyweight bout between Ilir Latifi and Corey Anderson?
I agree with you. It's kind of one of the underrated fights on the card. Maybe it's like the fighting style or whatever, but neither of these guys has kind of got maybe the hype that they deserve. I feel like coming off a win against Glover, coming off a win against OSP, they both, and Ilir Latifi was beat Tyson Pedro and a bunch of people before that too. So I don't necessarily know who. I mean, I feel like Ilir Latifi's got a little bit more momentum coming into it, but like you said, I mean, you explained it pretty good. It's definitely going to be an interesting matchup to watch. So I would lean towards Latifi, but wouldn't be surprised if Corey Anderson, because he's legit too. So
yeah, definitely a sleeper fight. All right, I'll go to you next, John. Do you have any thoughts on this fight, Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson?
Honestly, I think Latifi's gonna dominate it, but
okay.
I mean,
No, that's a real potential. He's dangerous.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I like Brunson. I just think
Anderson.
Oh yeah,
They all look alike. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fucked up, bro. I kind of feel like they're similar too at the same time sometimes.
Oh my bad. Yo, Stan MC's reaction was hilarious. You guys didn't see that. My bad. All right, BJ Johnson, we'll go to you next. What's your thoughts on Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson?
I'm gonna have to go with Ilir Latifi, man. Ilir Latifi's looked great in his last couple of fights. You know what I'm saying? He's got a lot of power in his hands. He's got that short, stocky kind of build. And those guys bring a lot of power, kind of like Tyron Woodley. So with the striking alone, I see Ilir Latifi winning this fight. I mean, Corey Anderson's good; he's a threat, but when it comes to when you get up to that division, power is a big factor in what is going, which way that fight can go. So most definitely Ilir Latifi.
Yeah, and what it was after his last win, Ilir Latifi, when he called Daniel Cormier out, he said he'll fight him at light heavyweight or heavyweight, which I thought he was like, I'll fight you at heavyweight or light heavyweight. I just want the shot, and I was like, that's dope. So I'll go to you next, Stamina MC. What are your thoughts? Saving the best for last. What are your thoughts? No, you're muted. Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson.
Man, honestly, 50-50. Like, I've probably only seen both of them fight once each before this. So my knowledge and understanding of what it is that they bring to the table is, again, not really that deep.
Mhm.
So I have no leaning towards the other. I don't have a guy that I particularly want to win. Yeah, I'm just going to enjoy
Okay.
the hostilities, as Robin Black would say.
All right, well, I'll stay with you for Chad Money Mendez versus Alexander Volkanovski. What are your thoughts on that featherweight fight? Chad Mendez came back, looked great, knocked out Miles Jury in the first round. You know, didn't look like he had much ring rust there, and he's one of the best wrestlers for sure outside of Frankie Edgar in this featherweight division. Alexander Volkanovski, he's coming off of that win over Darren Elkins, but this is going to be, I think, still a step up in challenge. It'll be a higher, competition than any fight he's had yet in the UFC. What are your thoughts on this fight?
My thoughts are that this matchup is, for me, I think, more important for Mendes to come out on top than it even is for Volkanovski. Volkanovski's doing his thing. He's kind of, making his presence felt within the division and whatnot. But due to the history of Mendes, due to the fact that people are still wanting that to see if he's got anything to do for if he's got any what I'm looking for. If he can pose any kind of threat to Holloway at any point in time, blah blah blah. If this doesn't go his way, we never get to see that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and he's got a history with like Aldo, Edgar. Aldo. Just a lot of the top guys in the division.
Yeah, exactly that. So it's just like if Volkanovski doesn't actually get the W, it's not the end of the world for him. People will kind of look at Chad taking the L a little bit more gravely than Volkanovski taking the L. You know what I mean? So again, I don't have a guy to root for in this, but I feel like there's more like
to fight for
ripples throughout the division if Mendes doesn't win this.
Okay, and I'll move to you next, BJ Penn, for this fight. That was a good breakdown. I like that stamina. What are your thoughts on Chad Money Mendez versus Alexander Volkanovski, BJ? No Filter MMA.
I'm gonna have to go with Chad Mendez on that one just because of his wrestling. His wrestlers looked impressive here lately. So I'm gonna have to go with Chad Mendez. But guys, I got a call. I'm gonna take this call.
Okay.
But I gave you that reference right there. So I'm gonna go with Chad Mendez on this one just because I think he'll win by his wrestling. So we'll check it out. I'll be back.
All right. I'll go to you next, John. What are your thoughts on this featherweight bout between Chad Money Mendez and Alexander Volkanovski? It's going to open up the pay-per-view.
Well, I know Can you hear me?
Yep.
I know Mendez I don't think he's ever been taken down. So I think, I got Mendez, man. I just think it's the next level. It's like Yair meeting Frankie Edgar almost. I don't know. I just think Mendez is definitely gonna win. And I don't know. It's just
Yair and Frankie Edgar, man. That's actually a pretty. If it plays out like that, it's gonna be a rough night for Alexander Volkanovski. But I hear what you're saying, though.
I don't think the fight's gonna go that way.
Yeah.
I just think
kind of like prospect versus
that it
dynamic.
That type of level change.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I hear what you.
But we will see.
Okay, all right, we will see. We'll move to you next. Given your name, what are your thoughts on this fight, featherweight bout between Volkanovski and Mendez?
Yeah, I'm with everybody else. I don't really see Volkanovski having too much ways to win this fight. Mendez should be pretty prohibitive favorite on that one, I would think. Was Mendez the one who didn't he win with a body shot over Miles Jury or get it started with a body shot?
I believe so. I'll pull up the odds.
Yeah.
I haven't even really looked at minus 165 for Mendez.
I might be getting it confused with Aldo's body shot over Jeremy Stevens.
Yeah.
But it was some kind of slick boxing that he took him out with, Miles Jury.
Let me see. Okay.
But yeah, I think basically on the feet or on the ground, Mendez should be have all the advantages. So
All right. And Dennis Espinosa, you got anything to add about this featherweight fight between Chad Money Mendez and Alexander Volkanovski?
Mendez hands on top of his wrestling with a full count. Mendez wins. Wish he would have had a full count with against Potato Head. we would have not had to hear as much from Potato Head all this time. He's been at the top of the mountain, and I think he's still got it. And I think Chad takes us relatively straightforward.
Okay. All right. Well, that's a good breakdown. So with that being said, really we've talked about UFC 232, but given your name, you came on kind of late, so I want to ask you your thoughts before we just kind of go back a little bit and talk about Kevin Lee versus Iaquinta, because I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. I want to ask your thoughts on this whole UFC 232 being moved, John Jones,
Man,
with the picograms. What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty much confused like everybody else. My main theory, I guess, and it's just a theory. I'm no scientist, but I really feel like Jones has to be doing something that is like a masking agent or something like that, that like leaves behind a small trace, but you know, it
It's
can't
not good
ever
enough
get
to, yeah.
it can't get all of it, but it's always going to leave behind some super tiny trace, and that's what they're starting to detect. And I mean, I don't buy into the necessarily that that's the amount he's taking to try to microdose or anything, because that wouldn't do anything for him. But at the same time, I kind of understand the idea that, well, why would I don't know. I kind of could even believe that what they're saying is true to a degree, and like he wouldn't actually be that fucking stupid, because nobody could be that stupid to keep cheating after all this shit. But I feel like if in this case, basically, I don't have any benefit of a doubt to give him. I just feel like he's blown through all the benefit of the doubt that he's owed, and so yeah.
And to that point, that's one of the things USADA said about this not making sense. They're like, he passed all his random tests and he fails the one test that he knows is coming. Like that just, if he is doping, they said he would be the dumbest or the stupidest doper of all time because he passes the test that he knows is coming, or he fails that one. So yeah, a lot of it's just all confusing and none of us are experts. So all we can do is speculate. But like you said, there's not really any benefit of the doubt that is left to give John Jones. It's almost at this point you assume he's guilty until proven innocent because of all the different circumstances. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and then the other thing I was wondering what anybody else thinks on this too, but like who do you feel like, especially out of the main card fights, who do you feel like maybe has the most, that like who gets screwed over the most by this whole move, like Amanda Nunes or Chris Cyborg? Because Chris Cyborg gets moving to her hometown, so it feels like that might almost benefit her to at least on a
well, yeah,
small level.
I just real quick, Amanda Nunes, she brought up the tax. They were going to be fighting in no tax Las Vegas. She's going to be getting, now they're going to be in high tax California. And
Right.
if you think about the motivation for Amanda Nunes to take this fight, part of it was for the money. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now she's losing a big percentage of that. So it's like, what the fuck? And yeah, like you said, and Dennis Espinosa pointed out a little earlier, it's Chris Cyborg's hometown. So yeah, you can
Yeah.
continue.
And then like I wonder how bad Gus is gonna, like, because he went to Vegas several weeks early to try to make sure everything is perfect, and like this is the biggest fight of Gus's life, and I just feel like for me it might be him who's obviously maybe the most screwed on this deal, because now it's just another thing on top of all the
Yeah,
other
on
shit. I
top
don't
of
know.
the fact that your opponent, even though the scientists tell you it's not enough to improve his performance, that he's not 100% clean. So you got that. And then, but
Exactly.
like you said, he came out to make everything perfect 2 weeks ahead of the fight. Now everything's changing in like 1 week's notice. So yeah,
Yeah.
that can't help your performance. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
crazy. Yeah.
um,
So
so, we've been going for about an hour and a half, but before we get out of here, I want to hear you guys' thoughts because we haven't had a panel since UFC Milwaukee. Definitely on the main event. I'll start with you giving your name, and then after we talk about this, we'll go through closing thoughts on anything. I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the Kevin Lee versus Ally Quinta and how that played out?
Oh shit, let me think back. Okay, yeah. Man, that was a hell of a fight. Raging Al. I feel like, like several people were picking him. I think Stamina put some money on him and stuff. So, not everybody was discrediting him, but the larger, like, especially the casuals, I guess, didn't have any attention for Raging Al. So I feel like he's definitely made a lot of money for himself in the future off of that win. And I don't know what Kevin Lee needs to do at this point. That's kind of my biggest question mark on the whole deal, is like, what's it going to take now for Kevin Lee to sort of break through or break back up into that top tier? Because I feel like after that, it's going to be tough for him to get some of those top fights again. So
Yeah, he's gonna have to take that fight with James Vick if he still wants it.
Because Kevin Lee's coach, passed away, and so I just wonder if he's in the process of thinking about switching camps or anything like that.
That'd be awesome to see if he went to like an AKA or ATT. Whoo. That'd be the start. I think that'd be the start to rebuilding.
Yep. But that's my main thoughts on that. So.
All right. I'll move next to you. No filter. Well, he's on the phone, so I'll go to him last. Damn it, MC. I'll go to you. What are your thoughts on Kevin Lee versus Ally Quinta? How that played out? I know it was a couple weekends ago now, but Ally Quinta won that 5-round decision. I mean, I think he looked phenomenal. What are your thoughts on that fight?
Before I even say my thoughts on the fight, you mentioning flipping AKA and ATT. I don't even think that's an option for someone like Lee, because you've got flipping Barboza and Khabib there respectively. Just like that's just gonna be
AKA wouldn't work. Barboza, and I think it's a pretty big gym. Like I
mean, he just got there, okay, but
maybe ATT, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. 100% with Khabib. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah, that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. All right, so what are your thoughts on the?
Because I don't know, Cormier for crying after his fight as well, and he started crying after his one.
Bit
weird.
Yeah, you can't call out. That's crazy. You call out DC for crying. Yeah, if you're a crier, you just don't do that, right? There's criers, and some people don't. But if you're a crier, you can't call someone out for crying.
No, you just can't. No, that was a fucking cool fight. It took me a good few days afterwards to actually go and watch that on the hooky fucking websites. I think I was working that night.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was good, man. It was good. I just felt, even on account of how much shit he talked, I actually felt embarrassed on Lee's behalf to lose like that, in that he didn't get smashed, but I don't really feel like there was any point in the fight where he really had Al in any kind of trouble.
Yeah, he had his best position.
Al ran that whole fucking fight. Not like by miles, but it was his from bell to fucking bell. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I'm with you. I completely feel like that slight embarrassment for him. Like, damn, bro, like, you had your spot and he just beat you for like 5 rounds. It's not like he just caught you, like, oh, you got caught. It's like he won the fight pretty single-handedly after talking all that shit and just everything. Yeah, it was just, I completely get that. All right, so I'll go to you next, John. What are your thoughts on the main event that was UFC Milwaukee? The final UFC on Fox card. After this pay-per-view, we're going to ESPN, boys. But what are your thoughts on Kevin Lee versus Ally Quinta, John? And okay.
I actually thought Kevin Lee was going to win that, but I knew it wasn't going to be easy. I just thought that Kevin Lee was going to take him down more. I feel like he should have tried more, too. I knew that I was probably going to be a bit superior, but I didn't think it was going to be that bad either. I thought Kevin Lee had, I thought he had stepped his striking game up. I know he goes and he's boxed over with the Mayweathers a few times or whatever, and it just seemed like his striking when he fought Tony, it seemed like his striking was better since the first time he fought Al, but maybe Al's just got better too. It's kind of hard to tell because Al's never really fought a lot.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. That's why I agree with you. I kind of thought Kevin Lee was going to win, kind of for those same reasons. Being more active and evolving his game. But yeah.
But I hope to see Al more now. Like, I want to see him fight more. There's so many good matchups for him. Even Conor McGregor, I think, would be cool. Really anybody. So I hope to, like, him and Justin Gaethje. That would be pretty dope.
Yeah, man. That's a great point. A lot of good matchups, and hopefully, he's not a guy that just fights as actively as you might want because he's got the real estate and stuff. But hopefully, the UFC will use this, and they're gonna have to pay him. But yeah, we can see a little more out next year because I'm with you. There's a lot of great matchups. He's in a great spot now. He could even fight like a McGregor, a Khabib rematch, the Justin Gaethjes of the world, the Tony Fergusons, the Dustin Poiriers. Like, he's real close to another title shot, if not already just a money fight in between time. So, yeah, that was a great breakdown, John. I'll go to you next. Dennis Espinoza. What were your thoughts on Kevin Lee versus Al Iaquinta?
That was a really good fight to watch. Alquinta is one of those examples of you may not be as athletic or naturally gifted as the other guy, but if you put in the work, you can do exactly what he did. Kevin Lee is more athletic. Cut out the shuck and jive, Kevin Lee, and take it serious. Cut out the trash talk. Take lessons from Fedor or something, but just cut out all the extraneous bullshit and focus. You waste your talent that way. But Alquinta, like Jordan cut in high school. He ends up being one of the best, if not the best, basketball player of all time. Put in the work.
Okay, great breakdown. And I got to say, Dennis Espinoza.
I'm back.
Okay, perfect timing because I was about to come to you, but I got to say to Dennis, man, he's looking like a hitman or a transporter over there. He's in all black. He's got the ceiling panel gone, so there's probably an arsenal up there. Looking like the transporter. But I'll go to you next, BJ, or No Filter MMA. What were your thoughts on Kevin Lee versus Al Iaquinta? Uh-oh.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. Dennis Espinoza showing the arsenal. You guys didn't see that because he wasn't talking. Holy shit. Dennis Espinoza was never fucking around. I told you. I was on to something. Go ahead, No Filter. Break it down.
Man, I just think that Al came in there and he didn't give Kevin Lee time to get comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Because he just bought the fight to Kevin Lee, man. And he beat him up, dude. He beat him up on the feet. And then Kevin went for these these desperado takedowns. You know what I'm saying? And Al just made it his fight. It's like he had a game plan and you just seen it work right in front of us. You know what I'm saying? He dominated Kevin Lee in that fight. And it's not very often you see Kevin Lee get dominated, but Al Iaquinta dominated him.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, he just brought it straight to him, never allowed him to get set, and then, and one of the things that really stood out to me is Kevin Lee had his spots. He's just so good at taking people down, taking their back, locking in the body triangle, and trying to lock in that rear naked choke. But Iaquinta really just, and he said it after the fight, he stayed patient, he stayed calm, and he said Kevin Lee was one of the strongest guys he's ever fought. But once he was in his worst position, and he was staying calm and realized he wasn't able to submit him, he said that allowed Alec to get more confidence throughout the fight. And then Kevin Lee started fading. Iaquinta's cardio looked great. Not only did Al Iaquinta, I think, look great, but even just that submission defense has me looking at and I always respected Sarah Longo. I don't look at them up there with like the AT&Ts and the AKAs, but they have some phenomenal fighters. Al Iaquinta looked phenomenal. They got Aljamain Sterling over there. So, I think there was just a spotlight on Al and in that camp for a little bit, just given that submission defense we saw throughout the fight. That was impressive because Kevin Lee submits a lot of guys in that position. So, with that being said, we're going to go to our closing thoughts. But once again, I want to thank you guys for being here watching the show and also being on the panel this Christmas for the holidays. Definitely appreciate that, you guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to our closing thoughts and just about anything in MMA. It can be any fights coming up. Actually, what I would like you guys to actually give first, what's a fight that you want to see coming up in 2019? What's one fight that you want to see, and then give us your closing thoughts. And we can start with you, Dennis Espinoza. Go ahead.
McGregor Holloway. I'd like to see Holloway get revenge. His one loss. After Khabib tells him, "I'll give you a rematch if you give someone else a rematch." McGregor wants a rematch, but doesn't want to give anybody else a rematch. Go Cyborg and then Cyborg all the way, and you all have a great holiday. All blessings, one and all.
All right, blessings to you as well. Thanks for coming on the panel. We'll go to you next, given your name. Unless you want, I can go to somebody else. I see you taking a bite. I would say,
No.
Okay, what's one fight that you want to see in 2019 booked, and also your closing thoughts?
Man, I guess it's almost not even exciting to say, but the one fight I'm just dying to see is Khabib and Tony. I gotta see it. I mean, I don't care how many times it takes. They have to fucking fight. Like, it just has to happen.
Let's book it on April Fool's this time to make it extra spicy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's almost like hard to even keep getting excited for that one, but it still is the fight to make. So that's my main one. And I don't really have any closing thoughts. Just best wishes to everybody in the family. It's been a great year, and 2019 is going to be even better. So.
All right, salute. Thank you very much for coming on the panel, giving Shernay happy holidays. We'll move to you next, John. One fight you want to see in 2019 and your closing thoughts.
Cyborg and Kayla Harrison.
2020? No, 2020.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I want to see in 2019. No, honestly, my dream fight right now, dude, and it has been for a while, is Tony and Khabib. I mean, I would pay extra, no problem. Like, I just want to see that fight. There's a lot of other good matchups, but that's like the dream fight for me.
Okay.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right, Merry Christmas to John. Thanks for coming on. And man, that's two people that the fight they want to see the most is Tony versus Khabib, and that says a lot because of how many times the fight's been booked and canceled. That just speaks to the matchup and how epic that fight would be. So hopefully politics, the McGregor politics and the Khabib politics don't come into play and take the fight, because it really seems like that might be what's holding Tony Ferguson out, but he's not going to stop winning. So hopefully we get to see that fight. We'll go to you next, BJ. No Filter MMA. What is a fight you want to see in 2019 and your closing thoughts?
Really good talk tonight, guys. I jumped in a little late, but good coverage of the topics. This stuff needs to be talked about. But a fight that I really want to see in 2019, to go a little different direction than everybody else, is Jessica Andrade versus Tatiana Suarez.
Oh, no, dude. Man, you're going to make me restart this whole debate. I don't want to hear nobody speak. I do hear you. That is a great fight. But I got to see Andrade versus Rose first. But no, go ahead. That is a great fight. But I think Andrade's got to get that title shot first. Go ahead.
There's really two fights with Tatiana Suarez that I really want to see. Of course, I want to see Jessica Andrade get that title shot. Absolutely. She deserves that 100%. And I believe that she'll decimate Rose. But another fight with Tatiana Suarez that I really want to see, and I know it might be a little bit premature, but I want to see that Mackenzie Dern Tatiana Suarez fight.
I don't think that's premature. I actually think that's a fine fight to make. I think that might even be as far as, because I don't know if Tatiana would get like an immediate title fight or anything, or with the way things are going right now with maybe Andrade fighting for the title. I think that'd be I wouldn't mind that fight.
Yes, that would be a chance for it could do two things for one thing for each fighter. It can catapult Mackenzie Dern up with a win over Tatiana Suarez, and it can also solidify Tatiana Suarez with a win over Mackenzie Dern. Even though Mackenzie Dern is only 2 fights in UFC, she's got a lot of momentum. You know what I'm saying? She's laying girls out with that right hand. You know what I'm saying? And she's winning fights. So that would show for Tatiana Suarez that, hey, no matter how good your jiu-jitsu is, my wrestling is better. So, that could be a really good fight for both of them. I would love to see that fight, but most importantly, I want to see Tatiana Suarez versus Jessica Andrade, most definitely.
Okay. All right. Yes, that's a good matchup. All right. Stamina MC will come to you next. What's one fight you want to see in 2019, and what are your closing thoughts for today's show?
I'm not really going to go the way of the fantasy matchup thing, because if I do that, then I'm just going to say Tony Khabib just like everybody else. But in terms of a fight that's actually being talked about, potentially scheduled, etc., I'm really liking the potential that the matchmakers are showing for this whole thing of pitting the established fighter versus the new guard kind of thing. A sort of example of that would be the whole kind of like Weili Zhang, Tisha Torres thing, but I wouldn't expect anybody to know or care about that.
Anderson Silva versus Adesanya, maybe.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Anderson's a little bit suspect for me at the moment, but it's still interesting in terms of what he's capable of versus what he will actually do on that day. Yeah, we'll see. But I really like the whole kind of like Holly Holm Aspen Ladd pairing. That's interesting to me, because for starters, Holm going back to Bantam, Holm not actually getting the fucking title shot for her for all the time that she sat in the number one place for God knows how long, for God knows what reason. But the fact that she's as established and as, you know, just established as she is, for someone like Aspen, like you wouldn't have really put them together. In the same way that you probably wouldn't even have put fucking Nina Ansaroff with Claudia Gadelha, for God's sake. But Jesus, she won, and she won. You know, she didn't squeak it. She fucking won. So I like the way that they're going with stuff like this, where actually the number figures of the rankings don't matter as much as, okay, you do this, you do that, go. Let's just see. Let's just see what happens. Final thoughts. What are my final thoughts? Oh yeah, but something that someone said on Twitter that I thought would be a good thing that would come out of this whole kind of like 232 location move is that now we're actually going to get CSAC figures for how much all the fighters weigh on fight day. And I think that's just for the geek in me, that's going to be quite interesting to see, you know, what fucking, you know, Megan and Kat turn up on fight day, what Chris and Nunes, etc., what they actually weigh in the fucking ring. Yeah, that's going to be, that's just interesting on a geeky level. So that's about the only good thing to come out of this whole fucking California move, I think. But just that.
Looking at the glass half full for sure.
Man, it's a glass. Glasses come empty. You're meant to put things in them. Glasses are always empty until they are filled.
Okay, and even when they're empty, they're filled with air.
Well.
All right. Well, thanks again, everybody who came on the panel and who came and tuned into this show. And Stamina MC, thank you also, man, for that $75, bro, for the donation. Like, I can't thank you enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to. So
keep the goodness.
All right. Well, I truly appreciate it. So, thank you guys. Merry Christmas to everybody on the panel. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm gonna try and do this again next week. I want to do like a panel day, a specific day. So I don't know if it's gonna be Thursday, or which day, but that's what I'm gonna try and do, a specific day for the panel. So thank you guys for coming on. I'm gonna play a couple songs to get out of here and talk with the chat. So thank you guys for coming on the panel. It's been dope. I'll see you guys next time. All right, later. All right, full-time family.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA.
Did not mean to put that back on the screen. That was dope. We're gonna get out of here, play a couple songs or something. We covered everything. That was an epic panel, as all panels are. We're gonna try and get one of those going at least every week, because the Full-Time Family is fucking awesome, epic, and we do that shit better than, you know what I'm saying, than anybody you can probably think of, professional or independent channels. It don't matter. The Full-Time Family's rocking. That was dope. Always good for some MMA conversations with people that know what they're talking about, even if it's just fans. We're not professionals, but I definitely enjoyed the chat. So thank you guys for coming out this holiday, spending some time with your boy. Merry Christmas to everybody. Let's head over to UFC Yankovic. We had multiple people. If you had to ask everybody what fight they want to see in 2019, Tony Ferguson versus Khabib was, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. There's the McGregors, there's the Khabibs, there's the John Jones, there's the Cormiers, out of all the fighters on the UFC roster, everybody wants to see Tony Ferguson versus Khabib. So thank you guys for coming out, man. We're going to play a couple songs. I'm going to be out your hair. Happy holidays to everybody. Let's go. Oh, wait. Actually, oh, yeah, you guys can hear that.
Yeah, they wish and they wish and they wish and they wish and they wishing on me. It's Tony time, bitch, I don't care who's fucking with me. Staying away from tiramisu's a struggle for Khabib. You don't wanna fight, you wanna cuddle with me. My elbows are knives and I'ma cut you with these. I don't really give a fuck who's with me. If this fat fuck will make weight's a big mystery. If you were smart then you would probably pick me to submit Khabib at UFC 223. To submit Pettis at UFC 229. Tony time, Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke, would've probably beat Khabib. Then moved up and fought with Lee. Either wait for GSP. You don't wanna mess with me. Tony time, Tony time. I knock out, sometimes I choke. I might be the lightweight GOAT. If my leg didn't get broke, would've probably beat Khabib at UFC 223. Then moved up and fought with Lee. Either way for GSP.
All right, everybody. Salute to the chat. Benji, Bada Jr., Quincy Panola, Slapnutch, Dutch Style Black Clouds, Fights with Friends. We got Anthony Jones in the building and everybody else. Merry Christmas to everybody. Salute to the chat. One more song and this stream is over. Let's go.
I done did a lot of drugs in my day, yeah I said it, but I'm still gon' kick your ass, Gustafsson, I hope you ready. When I got into the crash, I ain't know the bitch was pregnant, but they treat me like a murderer, so motherfucker critic. Bitch, I'm ready to fight, and we can fight till the death. I'll hit your ass with the right, then with the right and the left, then kick you right in the chest, and have you fighting for breath, and then I'll turn the pressure up when you would try to get rest, leave you no time to adjust. Daniel, I'm coming for the title, so quit hiding your necks, because I'm right at your neck. Yeah, you can try and fight Lesnar, but